Hi friends, welcome to the Elevate with Erica podcast, where today we are going to be sharing an inspiring story of resilience and strength. I'm your host, Erica. I have a truly remarkable guest joining us today. She's a woman whose life journey is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. And I'm honored to have my mom, Raquel, also known as Rocky, here with us to share her extraordinary life story. So my mom grew up facing unimaginable challenges from a very young age. She lost her father when she was just a little girl, and it was one of the first of many hardships she would endure. She was forced to be separated from her mother, and she found herself placed in foster care and later in a Catholic children's home. The world seemed like a daunting and uncertain place, I'm sure, but even in those darkest moments, she never lost hope. So despite those odds stacked against her, my mom found the strength to run away from Texas to Delaware, determined to be reunited with her siblings. The courage and resilience she displayed during those trying times set the tone for the incredible journey that lay ahead of her. Because as life unfolded, she encountered even more challenges, facing rocky relationships that tested her spirit. However, it was her unwavering determination and refusal to give up that pulled her through those tough times, even when she experienced the heart-wrenching pain of losing custody of her own daughters. She never lost sight of hope and the love she held in her heart. My mom's story is not just one of struggles, but it's a story of triumph. Her unwavering grit and resilience have been a profound source of inspiration for her loved ones, including me, who stands here today, a determined woman molded by her mother's strength. So today, we dive into the journey of a woman who defied all odds, a woman who taught us that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can rise above and shine brighter than ever before. So grab your tissues and your favorite beverage because you are in for a roller coaster of emotions. Get ready to be inspired, moved, and touched by the incredible life story of my mother. I promise you, this is a story you won't soon forget. And thank you for joining us on the Elevate with Erica podcast. Let's jump right into this powerful conversation as she takes us on a journey of resilience, hope, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her daughters. Remember to subscribe to this podcast so that you don't miss any of my future episodes featuring more incredible stories of courage and perseverance, as this is just the first of many. Until then, stay strong and never forget that your spirit is unbreakable.
All right, you guys. So we are here with my mama. So I have to turn this, you guys. I have like a list of questions I'm going to ask her, and I don't want her to know what's coming up. And I have a really important question for the first one. Very serious question. What is your favorite cocktail?
Oh, that's a hard one because I have several that I really, really like.
Yeah. And do you make it yourself, or?
I do, of course.
Yes.
They're the best. The ones I make are the best.
Yeah.
I think I would have to say a spicy blackberry margarita.
Okay. So what about your favorite drink out?
My favorite drink out? Oh, gosh, that's a hard one. Of course, I like IPA beers, but it doesn't count as a cocktail.
No.
So I would say...
What about the one here that we like?
Ooh,
Wide Awake Drunk?
Yeah, what was it called?
Wide Awake Drunk.
Yeah, so that would be good.
We are sitting at Liquid Assets in Ocean City on... Oh, crap. What street is it?
94th?
94th
Yep.
Street. Yep. It is my favorite restaurant in Ocean City, food, beverage-wise.
Yes,
if you're ever in town, you must come here.
Amazing.
So, all right, let's get serious. Where were you born?
I was born in a little town in Texas.
So you're legal.
I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Mercedes, Texas.
Okay. And then tell us a little bit about your childhood in regards to, so who raised you?
So my mother and father raised me till I was barely 4, and then my father passed away suddenly from a heart attack. And then my mother raised me till I was maybe 7 or 8. And then I went we were placed in foster homes because my mother was having a hard time raising 6 kids on her own.
You were the youngest at this time? Or?
No, I was the third youngest.
And why do you think your mom was having a hard time raising 6 kids? Because I feel like it's something a lot of women do today. So,
well,
what was it for her?
She didn't speak the language. She didn't speak English.
Okay.
She had never worked. She had come from Mexico and then with her mother when she was very young and married my father when she was 15 or 16, very young. So when my father passed away, she was only 25, maybe 24, 25. So yeah, she had a very hard time. And then losing her husband, her only and first, well, at the time, her first love, it took her a while to get over it.
So you weren't taken away till after he passed away?
After he passed away, maybe like 3 years later, she really tried. And social services didn't like that she would leave us with my oldest brother to care for us while she worked. So then my brother was introvert. So whenever social services would come, he would hide. He was 16 years old.
Which one? Let's talk about him.
Joe, my oldest brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not an introvert anymore.
No, he's not. He's actually the one who messages me the most on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome. So, yeah, so then they thought we were by ourselves because he would hide, and they put the 4 youngest ones in foster homes, and I was there maybe 2 years, and my mother would find out where we were at, and she would come in the backyard and talk to us because they wouldn't allow her to see us, and yeah, so that's who I was raised with my mother, with foster homes till I was about 9.
So your mom until you were how old again?
I was with my mom till I was 8, and then foster home maybe about a year. Then she found out where we were at and told me to run away to Mexico and meet my brothers behind J.C. Penney's. I know it sounds crazy. And then we're going to go to Mexico, and then she's going to come over there and see us. Okay. We were going to stay with her close friend who we called our aunt.
Yeah.
Aunt Carmen. She was a sweet lady, and she took care of us. Well, she took care of me and my brother Robert for about a year. We lived over there in Mexico, helping her with her little store that she had in the back of her house.
Your aunt had a store?
Yes.
So then how long were you there?
I was there about a year, and then my aunt's sister reported us that we were runaways from a foster home, and they came and got us and put us together with my other brother and sister that were in a separate foster home, and took us to a place in Laredo, Texas called Sacred Heart Children's Home.
So this is crazy because this is all happening when you're 8, 9, and 10. So you're Hunter's age right now, and you don't even have a stable place to live.
Right.
You've lived longer than a year.
Yeah.
So then at 10, you went to about 10?
About 10, I was at Sacred Heart Children's Home, yes. 4 of us were there, myself, my sister, and 2 younger brothers. Yeah, that was an experience.
How long were you there?
I was there till I was about 15.
That's a long time.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad place, but at the time I thought it was,
Did you have your own room?
Yes, I did. I had my own room. I would share the same bathroom with another girl, and it wasn't too bad.
Do you remember being, and I asked this question because Hunter doesn't even like to sleep in a room by himself. I can't imagine being at a foster or at a, children's home and you go to bed alone at 10 years old.
I did.
And you don't have your parents.
Yes.
I can't imagine.
No, it was very hard.
Yeah.
I wanted to be with my sister Rosie, but she was in another building because she was older than me, a year and a half older. So they had them put in different apartments based on age. So I was hoping that they would put me with her, but they didn't. And then my 2 brothers were separated in a whole different section because they would separate the boys and the girls from one another. But I learned a lot of discipline while I was there. The nuns were very strict, and we prayed when we got on the bus, we prayed when we got off the bus, before we ate, before we went to bed. You got to be up first thing in the morning at 6 o'clock standing by your bedroom door.
It's almost like military.
Oh yeah, it was very
prayer.
structured. Yep, very structured. Yep.
Wow.
It was.
So how do you think like any of that shaped you today? Like as far as that structure, that military style, do you think... I don't really look at you as being a very structured person today. Like,
No.
not that you're lazy, but
No.
I don't think that you are like...
I'm not in that sense.
No.
But when I raised you guys, I was strict like that. I did do that, where you guys had to be home by a certain time. You know, I wanted your rooms clean, and you look at me, you don't walk away. If I'm talking to you, you look at me, you show me respect.
Yes.
You show other people respect. You know, there's going to be consequences if you misbehave. And
You guys, my mom can give one hell of a stare down. Like, if you mess up,
yeah.
she just would point her finger at me, and she does this thing. Scares the shit out of me.
I wasn't that bad. But, you know, I got my point across.
Yes, she did.
Yes, I did.
She didn't have to touch me. She
No.
scared me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you went from Texas to where? So this was at 15 then? 'cause
At
you said-
15,
okay, at
so
15 then what happened?
My two younger brothers, once they reached the age of 11 and 12, they transferred them to, they didn't want the boys to grow up and be with the girls. And they were getting at that age where maybe something might happen, you know, and didn't want any of the girls getting pregnant or whatever, you know.
Right.
So they would send them somewhere. They would look up places that were taking young boys and teaching them, you know, how to, you know, stay focused on school and, you know, and discipline and so forth. So they sent my two younger brothers to Omaha, Nebraska, Boys Town, Omaha, Nebraska. Father Flanagan's Boys Town, Nebraska. They left. I'll never forget that day. They were saying goodbye, and I could see them from the back view window of the car, and I remember crying and feeling so sad that I didn't know when I was going to see them again. But they turned out really well. I mean, they went to Cornell, and they liked it there, and I would hear from them every so often.
Don't you think it's crazy? Like, people use their childhood sometimes as excuses for, you know, addictions and things like that. And I look at my family, and I just think that you guys are so educated and so driven, and
Yeah. You know, I think when you're have, you know, very challenging upbringing, and you don't have really the support of both your parents, and your mother struggling, and you find yourself alone and scared, I think you don't have a choice. You know, you just have to do what you have to do, you know, and you learn to be strong.
Yeah.
Stronger than you ever think you could.
Right.
So after they left,
Right.
my sister started, you know, acting up in high school, and they moved her to a place about 3 hours away or more, maybe, Corpus Christi, to a place called Youth City. And so then I found myself alone. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't like this. I remember crying, and then I finally figured it out. I said, well, if I start misbehaving, they'll send me where she is. And finally, Mother Teresa called me to her office, and she
Mother
said...
Teresa. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah, no, it's Mother Teresa. She said, you know, you can stop. You need to just be careful. Something's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
I'm already working on sending you there. You want to be with your sister? And I said, yes, I do. I miss her. I don't want to be by myself without my family.
What sister was this, did you say?
Rosie. Yeah. So anyway, so I got moved over there, and once I got there, I did not like it. I was like, no, I don't like this place.
Yeah.
So I made friends with a girl that had been abused by her father there, and I told her, Easter's coming up, and I want to go see my mom. I haven't seen my mom in a long time, so I'm going to go see my mother. I know they're going to catch me, but I don't care. So I told my sister Rosie my plans, and she said, oh, well, I'm not going. I have a job, and I'm going to graduate next year, and I don't want to leave. I'm happy here, and I have a boyfriend. And I said, okay, well, you stay. I'm leaving. I'll see you. I'll tell Mom you said hi.
Right.
So,
bye.
Yeah. So anyway, last minute we were leaving. I had it all planned. I said, we got to leave at 3 or 4 in the morning, no later, because she gets up at 6. We had a lady that was in charge of every complex or apartment, whatever you want to call it. And I did. I went to tell my sister goodbye that morning, and she decided to come with us. So we ran away. Maybe it was like 3 hours, 4 hours away, looking for my mom in Elsa, Texas. We actually had, it was funny because there was a railroad track right near Youth City. And we said, we got to run, and get away from here as fast as possible because they're going to see that we're missing. I remember it seemed like we ran 3 miles straight. And finally, this big tractor trailer stops, and it's a produce truck. And out of all things, it says Ruiz Produce, which is my father's last name, my maiden name.
Was my last name.
Yeah. And I said, oh my God, what are the chances?
Yeah.
And he said, where are you going? And we told him, and he told us to get on, and he took us maybe about an hour away from where we were going. And he said, I'm sorry, I have to turn here. You guys go ahead. And Elsa, Texas, keep on going straight. You'll see it. So, yeah, we got to my mom's house and knocked on the door, and she hadn't seen us in 5 years. So imagine, 10 till you're 15, you change a lot.
Right.
So she opened her little curtain on her door, and she says, what do you want? Of course, in Spanish, que quieren aquí? And I said, Mom, it's us. And when she realized it was us, she's like, oh my God, come in. How did you get here? Yeah, so anyway.
Does she remember that? Have you asked
Yeah,
her?
she laughs when I tell her that. And she's 87.
Yeah.
She thinks it's funny, and I'm like, it's not funny, Mom. You didn't even remember who we were, I didn't think you were going to open the door. I didn't want to walk all the way back.
It's kind of funny now. Right, I walked 3 hours.
Yeah,
damn
it's
it.
a long ride. I'm hungry.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so from there she called my sister that was in Delaware, and she said, guess who's here?
What sister?
My sister Elena.
Was in Delaware already.
Yeah,
Okay.
she had run away also with her girlfriend, and she was established.
Okay.
She had married a wealthy guy and had a home, and he
Doing her
owned,
thing.
Yeah, and she said, you got to bring him over here. They're going to catch him and send him back. So my mom said, well, how do I get there? That's a long way. So she said, take the bus. So that's what we did. And that's how I ended up in Delaware. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Elena ran away from
another
where?
place. It was a
Okay.
place in Galveston. Yeah, she was a bad girl from the get-go. Yeah.
Bad Elena.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like a special name for somebody. Bad Elena. That probably should be her name.
I know. There should be a book.
I know.
Elena. We're going to write a book about you called Bad Elena. We love you also.
Yeah.
So that's how you ended up in Delaware.
Yeah.
So how did you get to Delaware, though?
In a bus. We came in a bus that was busing migrants up here to work. Mm-hmm. And we pretended that we were going to work also, which we did. But, I don't know. She investigated and found out that there was a bus that actually takes you all the way to Delaware, Dover, Delaware.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was in 1974, I believe.
It's a good thing we were like beyond the horse and buggy, that would've
I
been a
know,
long
right?
ride.
Can you imagine? Or train? Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So how old were you?
So I was maybe 15 and a half, something like that.
So then you got to Delaware.
So then I came to Delaware, and I...
So you're not going to school?
No, I didn't. I didn't go to school. I quit. I was like a ninth grade or 10th grade.
Right.
Yeah, so no, I had to grow up real quick. So I got a job at Green Giant.
Grocery store, right?
No, it's no, I love the grocery store where they make like vegetables and all that. Green Giant,
Oh, that's where I've seen Green Giant.
Yeah.
It's on the can of my green beans.
Yes, it's on the can. Yes, and I will never forget the smell of steaming asparagus. And then I found out I was pregnant with Rachel. And I could not stand the smell of that. It was like, oh my God, this is gross. But yeah, so I worked there for a little while, as long as I could, and then that's where I met my first husband. Mm-hmm. I had 2 children with him, and yeah. So I had her.
You met your husband at the Green Giant?
At the Green Giant. He was a forklift operator.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never look at green beans the same.
I know. Or asparagus.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the worst.
If it wasn't for that, we'd have no Rachel and Ramona.
Oh my goodness. I know. Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get to the daughters in a minute. But so when did you return to get like your diploma and your like?
So from there,
GED or whatever?
I ended up having to leave Dover, where I was pregnant with his child, and we left and went to Ohio, where his family was from. back to Wichita Falls, Texas, where he found a job. That's where Rachel was born. And then from there, we didn't last there long, maybe a year, and we came back to Ohio. And of course, I wanted to finish my degree, and I wanted to get my driver's license, and I wanted to do all the things that you're supposed to do. And he was, he didn't want me to. He was afraid that once I learned all that, I was going to leave him,
Yeah, right.
Which I did, but, I tried my best. He would fight me, and I was like, no, I want to get my GED. I want to go to college, even if it takes me 5 years. I don't care. And I want to get my driver's license, and he did not like it.
He was trying to keep you reliant on him.
He wanted to keep me barefooted and pregnant.
Right.
He did. But he was barking up the wrong tree. So, yeah, I managed to get all that. I did. Yeah.
So then you went to college, though, too, eventually.
Yeah, so when I left him, when I was 19, I saved. I wasn't working. He didn't want me to work, so I saved money from the groceries. I would put away $10 every week. Took me a while. I found out from my girlfriend how much it cost for Greyhound bus to take me back to Delaware from Ohio with my 2 little ones that were 3 and 4. And I managed to save enough money, and my girlfriend took me to the bus station. And the worst feeling was leaving my dog, my German Shepherd dog. Her name was Tosca, and
yes,
she loved me to death. And I remember closing the door behind her and telling her bye, and that was one of them,
It's hard because you feel like they never understand.
Yes.
And like, where are you going?
She was beautiful. And later he told me that she ran away when I ran away, that he opened the door and she ran away, probably looking for me.
Yes. German Shepherds are smart dogs.
Oh, they are. She was bilingual dog. She understood both languages. Siéntate, sit down, meant the same thing. Hola, she would lift her paw and say hello to me. And she was beautiful. She really was. And so anyway, I got to Delaware safely. And my mother and my sister picked me up. I lived with my mom for a while, worked 2 jobs and trying to help my mom and pay for us staying there and food. And well, then my first husband found me, of course, and he acted so excited to see the girls, and he said, let me take them while you get your life together, and I'll bring them back. Let me take them, spend some time with them, and I promise I'll bring them back. Of course, I believed him.
Yeah.
But no, for 8 years I did not see them.
Wow.
That was one of the worst times in my life, but I got through it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I got into another relationship and had 2 more children.
So, but on Rachel and Ramona, what were their ages when you didn't have them about?
They were
What part of their life did you miss?
So I missed them like from 4 and 5 years old to 11 and 12.
And then did you get any
13.
pictures from anybody? Was that like a thing back then?
Never. I started seeing them a little bit like maybe from the time they were 10 and 11. I found out where they were. They were living with his mom. And I asked for visitation rights. I would have to go to Ohio and get a lawyer there and got my visitation rights, and I would have to stay near there in a hotel to see them until I was able to get, visitation rights out of state.
So what did he do that made you have to have visitation rights to see your own kids? Like, how does that happen?
Because he took them. So when he took them, neither one of us had custody.
Right.
And they had been with him
for
longer.
so long that they consider him having custody.
Yeah. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But what's crazy is that Rachel, she was only 4 or 5.
But I mean, he could have let you see them. He made you go through the whole process.
He was mad that I left him.
Yeah.
He didn't like that, and he just took it out on the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew that, and he knows
Right.
that.
Right.
I never did anything wrong. I was with my kids every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I didn't work. He didn't want me to get a job. He didn't want me to go to school. And when I finally did get my GED, it was in the evenings. And, that was only maybe 2 hours in the evenings,
Yeah.
twice a week maybe.
So when you saw them for the first time, when they're like
Rachel was so happy, hugged
11,
me.
is that what you said?
Yeah. Rachel was so excited. She never stopped loving me. She remembered me. Oh, yeah. We were so tight. We were so close. Yeah, she said she always thought about me. She always wanted to
What
be
about
with me.
Mona? Because she was a little bit younger.
Yeah,
Do you
Mona
think
was a
that
little
she
more
wasn't
timid.
as- yeah.
she was a little
Which
more.
is understandable. I mean,
Yeah, she was not comfortable around me. Yeah, it was sad, but
yeah.
eventually I let her go back and live with her grandmother so she could finish high school.
Yeah.
She just couldn't adjust, and that was one of the hardest things, in my life to give your daughter
Choosing
back.
that's right for her, not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to let her go back after you fought so long to get her back.
Can't imagine. But Rachel stayed with you? Or?
Rachel stayed with me, yeah. She didn't want to go back.
No.
Yeah. But, it all worked out. Yeah.
So, speaking of daughters, how many do you have in total, including your favorite one,
Of
me?
course. I have 4 daughters. Yeah, 2 from my first and 2 from my second.
Okay. All right. So, but then you met Dawn, and now you also have a stepdaughter, Stacy.
Yes, I do.
And so,
5 daughters.
yes, 5 daughters. And what do you think was the hardest part of parenting for you? Let's not consider, what we just went over, but just in general, parenting us at home, where we grew up in Delaware, parenting 3 girls.
Yeah, it was hard.
What was the hardest?
I think one of the hardest things was with my oldest daughter. She had not been around me that long, and she was just turning to be a teenager. And then I was trying to cope with it all,
You're like reconnecting.
She was very headstrong,
And you were like apart as much as you were together.
Yes,
and you got
exactly.
her back. Yeah.
And, she's not really respecting, where I'm coming from because she doesn't really know me that well.
Right.
And so that was so hard.
Well, I mean, a big disciplining age, I think, is the years that you missed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was real strict and she had pretty much been doing what she wanted to do because her father had different girlfriends and, before they went to go live with her grandmother. So she was able to come and go and do whatever.
She was a little more free because that was what was convenient for him.
Right.
Yeah. And then she comes in the family dynamic of you with Dawn and you guys.
Exactly.
We had a more structured childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I think I wanted to be a perfect parent, and I think my regret is, maybe I shouldn't have yelled and gotten angry as much as I did, but I guess I was trying to get my point across.
It's my regret too. I think that's every mom's regret after you yell.
Yeah.
Like, why did I yell?
I know.
They make us yell. They don't listen.
Like I wish I could have been a little kinder, but you know what? Yeah, I think I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's not like she turned out terrible. She's successful and she's a good mom,
very successful.
and a lot of times I catch her doing the same thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same things with her own.
Exactly.
Her own kids.
Yes.
So who was your hardest baby? Like, who was the hardest infant? Like, first 6 months of life, who was the hardest?
Oh, it was probably her, my oldest. Yeah. Well, because
sometimes
it was my first
say that
baby.
about your firstborn.
Yeah,
because Aaron was the hardest for me too.
Yeah. I mean, I was only 16, barely 17.
I don't feel like you really know what being a mom means until you're a mom, and then it's like, what the heck? And then if you don't have a guy that's really helping you, it's exhausting.
Exactly.
It's an exhausting experience.
And I was the whole 9 months that I was pregnant with her.
So Rachel, it wasn't your fault you were so hard.
No, it's not. I mean, I was sick the whole 9 months. I was throwing up the whole time. Couldn't keep nothing down. I was anemic.
I was lucky I never had any of that stuff.
Yeah, I was very sick. So probably her.
Yeah. And then Hugh was the cutest baby.
Of course it was you. You know that.
Crystal was pretty cute.
Crystal was
like
beautiful.
A little...
All my babies were beautiful. I mean, and I'm not just saying that. They were so perfect. But I think, you were different. You had your hair all spiked out and a lot of black hair.
Talking about so every time I post Aaron's baby picture, when it's his birthday, I post the same picture, and everybody says the same thing, that hair. So the hair made me cute, but Crystal's face was really cute.
Yeah. All my babies were
And she still looks the
gorgeous.
same. Crystal still looks like a baby.
She does. She'll be forever young.
So then your biggest regret would be in parenting is maybe just raising your voice too much. which is probably mine too.
Probably so. And maybe not spending as much time as I should have instead of trying to be perfect, just put things down and slow things down. And
But then I just think, like, if you weren't struggling so much, you probably wouldn't have
exactly.
Felt so much pressure.
Right, it is.
Yeah, so much pressure being a mom too.
And to have 4 of them, you can't just devote your time if you have 1 or 2. It's a little bit easier, but 4.
So if you could change one thing about raising your 4 daughters over anything we just went over, what would it be?
Over anything that we just went over, like changing anything about raising my daughters.
Go back and change anything that happened with you and your daughters.
I just wish that I would have slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Mainly, slow down, and I'd try to be so perfect. Spend more quality time, do more things.
Yeah.
But it was also hard because, I didn't have a lot of money. I mean, it was kind of difficult, to take you all on vacations and show you at least part of the world and travel. We did go on a few, but not that many.
Yeah.
Mainly that, because before you know it, you're grown and gone.
Yeah, they got their own thing happening.
I think that's really the most important thing that I regret. Maybe not also teaching you more, like if you did something and I wish I hadn't just said, hey, you did your best, it's okay. Because I don't think that that's okay either.
No.
Because you're kind of letting them kind of settle when you say that, So I wish I was a little more constructive, with my advice and maybe say, well, maybe if you did this, maybe you should do this or try this,
But somehow I didn't end up being the kind of person that can settle. So you did something right.
Yes. I think I learned a lot more after raising your older sisters.
Yeah, right.
And then you were my last one at home, so I was able to dedicate more time and be more patient and realize some of the things I did wrong.
So, what do you believe about yourself that has helped you endure difficult times? What do you think it is about you that gets you through hard things?
I think it's the fact that I had to grow up so young, and I had to help with my younger siblings. My mother was working.
You were independent at 10.
I had to be very independent, I had to carry my younger brother with me to Mexico while he was crying.
Yeah.
I had to keep him, I had to be his little mother while I was there, and even before that, my mother had other children, and they were left pretty much to me, and my other older sisters would go off and wander on their own.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that, I had a really challenging upbringing. My father died so young, my mother working, me pretty much being the caretaker, the little mommy of the house. Mm-hmm. And then, going through some of the very hard, difficult things as far as having my children taken away and, having to just go on and keep working and
keep
saving
going
money.
Anyway, right.
Yeah, I think that really made me resilient. And
right, because I can't imagine, functioning tomorrow if Aaron and Hunter were taken away from me. And then I have to keep working.
I really don't.
No, I don't know how I would get out of bed.
Yeah.
But you did, because, everything's a choice.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah. I think the only thing that kept me, half sane is that I knew they were with their father. Mm-hmm. He wasn't a good husband, but he wasn't a bad father, Mm-hmm. So I think that's the only thing. And I knew sooner or later I would catch up to him, and I was determined to do it.
Yeah.
So I just worked hard, 2 jobs, went to school at night, and I didn't let that stop me. I knew I had to fight.
Right.
And I couldn't just sit there and cry and not do anything about it.
You could.
So
you just chose not
back.
to, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Just sit there, and then they become victims of their circumstances.
Yeah. So I think that's what's kept me going. I really didn't have a choice. What do you do?
So where were you at 18 years old? What were you doing? Where was your life at?
So at 19, I came to Delaware.
Okay.
18, I was having money to run away from my ex-husband.
So you were still in Ohio. And you had Rachel and Ramona.
Yes.
And they were about 3 and 4?
Yeah.
So if you could go back to that girl and give her a piece of advice, what would you say?
I would have said, girl, Don't have babies so young, and get yourself established first.
Yeah.
Get as much education. Don't be in a hurry. Travel. Take your time finding the right guy. You know, don't rush. Enjoy life. Take care of yourself first. Education.
Yeah.
You know, definitely, I would do that.
Not that education doesn't matter today, but I feel like back then
It mattered more,
really
yeah.
mattered. Like
Yeah.
You had to have that to get a good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So what's your biggest failure in life?
My biggest failure in life.
If you have one. I'm not saying you have to have one.
Well,
Just
I
curious.
still regret to this day not getting enough education. I know I keep going back to that,
But really, do you think that would have changed anything? I mean, you ended up very successful
I
in what you
did,
did.
but I got lucky, you know? I feel like I got lucky meeting a good husband, you know? I mean, although I worked myself, I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's ever given me anything. But,
So my stepdad ran a highway construction company, and then she met him there, and then she started working there. So that's why she's saying that. But I also think that not everybody. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know that education would have really changed that. It was also just your determination and your grit that even got you to put your foot in the door.
yeah. I think another failure, now that I think about it, is staying in toxic relationships so long.
Yeah.
You know? But see, it goes back to education. I felt like I was stuck
Right.
because I couldn't financially support myself.
And so one of my rules for growing up, guys, was that I could not get married until after I graduated college. That's what they told me.
Yep.
So, and I did. I got my degree before I got married, because she never wanted me to rely on somebody else.
No, because I know what that was like.
Yeah, right,
So that's something no one can ever take away from you.
right.
It's so important.
What would you like people to remember you for? I'm gonna remember you for your laugh.
My
But
laugh,
what would you
I
like
know,
people to
always
remember?
say, I knew you were here because I heard you laughing from way out there. And I'm like, really? Do I laugh that loud? So I think that I would like to just be remembered for being a kind person.
Yeah.
And I know that might sound corny, but
It's the
anytime,
best thing in the world.
you know, when I'm around people,
Yeah.
I like to be able to listen to them. And when they leave me, I like to be able to have them leave me with a smile. Like, oh, that's a nice lady, you know?
Yeah.
She's sweet. I mean, because we're all going through something.
Yes. It means so much
You
to
know,
make somebody
yeah.
feel like you hear them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to just be
Sometimes
kind and
that's all they
caring.
need.
That's all, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they come to my house, of course, I'll make them cocktails and make them even happier, you know?
Of course. Makes me happier. Especially when you do it in a pitcher and not just a
I know,
glass.
right?
I feel like the supply is unlimited. So what was your biggest frustration in life? What is your biggest frustration in life today? Like, what about your life today? It still feels unsettled.
My life personally,
Yeah.
it still feels unsettled.
What frustrates you today? Because she's retired, you guys. She has like a beautiful house on like 10,000 acres or something.
No,
it's not
it's
really.
4 acres.
And a big in-ground pool, and she's living the dream. So
I
what
wish I could-
frustrates you?
What frustrates me is I wish my husband had better health.
Yeah.
That he could travel more with me. I always wanted to travel all over.
Yeah.
And he really can. He has, you know, neuropathy pain on his foot and knee issues and hip issues and
In sickness and in health, they say.
yeah. So, you know, I can't travel with him like I would like to, and he's a homebody because he doesn't feel great.
Right. Yeah, because he used to be very active.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of my biggest frustrations because right now I feel like I should be taking advantage of my health. And
But I also love that he does. It's not like he really holds you back much from if you want to go travel. Now,
No.
it's not to say that that's the same. You want to do it with him because that's
Yes.
your partner. But I also like that he is willing to, you know, let you go explore.
yeah, he's gotten a lot better. He used
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be like, no, I don't want you to leave.
Not without me.
But now he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, because I've also put my foot down. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you gotta. Your life can't stop just
No.
because.
no.
You gotta let the other person fly a little bit.
Yeah, and he gets it.
Yeah.
You know, He likes to use the excuse that he's going to stay home and water the plants and feed the hummingbird and clean the pool. Because he is my pool boy.
And cut the 4 acres.
Yeah, and cut the 4 acres of grass.
Yeah.
But
then when we watch him on the camera, he's sleeping in the recliner.
He's snoring away or outside. He's rushing to get things cleaned up before I get home.
Right. No, that was me and Crystal.
Yeah. And Rachel running upstairs.
Oh my God.
Like
we would
crazy.
hear my mom carpooling in the driveway and the garage. Oh, I know what it was. It was the garage door.
Yeah.
When the garage door would open and the sink was still full of dishes. It
A
was
couple of times
full
I didn't
on
open
panic
the garage
mode.
door. I went inside the house.
I know, and we got
and
caught.
I scared you guys. You guys were all dirty, sink full of dishes.
Well, I haven't even started to make Aaron and Hunter wash dishes yet, but I feel like
Yeah,
I
you really should,
right?
yeah,
What time?
should.
Like, how old were we when you made us do things?
At least probably 10. I
So
think
I'm
10
way
is a good
behind.
age. Yeah,
So
10 is a good age.
yeah, you just did you show me how to wash dishes, or you just start trusting your kids know what to do?
I think you guys would watch me, and I think you just knew how.
I know, that's what I don't know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how to show them how to wash dishes.
Or you just tell them to watch you.
Yeah, I
Watch
need to
me.
do it
This
because
is
I'm
what
not
you do.
doing my future daughter-in-laws any favor.
No, you're not.
No,
You
they don't know
really
how to
need
do anything.
I know. When they come to my house, I tell them, you guys can't just throw stuff all
They
over the
do.
floor.
They
You
don't
gotta
clean
pick
up
it
after themselves very well. It's all
Yeah.
my fault. I got to get on that.
Well, Rachel's son, Kyler, was washing dishes.
I know,
when
and
he
he's
came to
how
see me.
old?
He's Aaron's age.
See, the boys need to watch
13.
Kyler do it. I
Yeah.
bet that would actually help more than watch me
Yeah.
do it.
And then he emptied the trash can.
Aw,
I wanted to give me a
shoot.
massage.
And kids don't do anything. All right, I got to do better. So, do you like your life today?
I do. I do.
Would you
I do
change
like
anything besides? I know down
Besides
south.
the traveling part? No, I have awesome
You
neighbors.
could wave a magic wand
If I could wave a magic wand.
and change
I wish I could.
something about your
I wish
life.
I lived somewhere that was warm year round.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
the summertime.
Me too.
Sometimes I think, well, maybe if I won $1 million, that would help. You know, to I don't know. Would that buy a private jet to get somewhere real quick?
I have no idea, but I think so. Or you could at least buy someone who has one.
There you go. Something like that. You know, to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, all my children are healthy. My grandchildren are healthy. I'm healthy, except for my
I
husband.
know, we're so lucky with health
We
in our
are.
family. I mean, even Don, I know
Yeah.
he can't, he's in some pain sometimes, but we're really fortunate with health in our family.
Yeah, I mean, considering he's had stroke, open heart
Yeah.
surgery, you know, brain seizures,
Yeah.
diabetic, high blood
Right.
pressure, you know, I mean, he still goes every day. He gets up, he's cleaning the pool, he's
Yeah.
watering the plants.
You have to. It keeps him mentally strong.
And you know, he brings me coffee every morning.
You know, I'm always jealous of that. This is why no man has made me happy yet, because they don't bring me coffee in bed.
9 o'clock in the morning. And if I run out of creamer, he uses rum shada.
Oh,
So
that's
I have
a
to
good
hurry
guy.
up. It's okay for a few days, but then it's like, okay, I got to get out of bed. So if you put me rum
Right.
shada every morning.
I still got to work out.
Exactly.
Yeah. So speaking of working out,
Yeah.
so people are always like, admire my dedication to fitness and the way that I stay consistent in my workouts, and I know some of that is just my personality, but also I think that it's from, I don't remember you not working out.
Yeah.
So when did you start working out consistently?
I started working out right after I had Crystal, which was probably 22.
And you went to a gym or where?
No, I worked out at home with
Yeah.
videos
Oh my
and so
gosh.
forth. And I
With the
put on-
leotard
Yeah,
ladies?
with the leotards and my bandana and all
Oh
that.
my
And the warmers.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. That was cool.
Did you have the thong leotard?
I did. I actually did.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they were nice.
I think they're coming back.
So I worked out since, but I think, then I went through a rocky relationship, so I wasn't as consistent as I would have liked to have been.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but overall, I've probably been working consistently at least since I've been with Don, so probably 35 years.
Yeah, 36 years.
Consistently.
Yeah.
But started working out 40 some years ago.
Right. So, why do you think it mattered to you? Because I wouldn't say that Yvonne is now into running marathons and stuff and 5Ks or whatever she does.
My
She's
sister Yvonne,
crazy.
yeah.
She runs a lot, y'all. She's like a
Yeah.
Energizer Bunny.
She
I don't know how
is.
she does
She's
it. She runs
amazing.
everywhere. She reminds
Yeah.
me of Forrest Gump or something.
Yeah, she does.
So she does. But when you think about your other sisters, what made you into fitness?
I think the fact that I was so heavy, I had a 10-pound, 12-ounce baby, 23 and a half inches long, and I ate banana splits almost all the time. I wasn't thinking right. And so
you were thinking fine. They were good.
Afterwards, I was so big, and I said, no way. I am not going to stay like this.
Yeah.
I can't help getting old, but I can help getting fat.
Right.
So I started working out, and then I just loved the way it felt afterwards. And I lost all the weight, and it just felt amazing. And so I think I almost got hooked on it. You
get hooked on worse things than taking care of yourself.
I think I just got hooked, and it was therapy also.
Yeah.
Like when I wasn't having a good day or something was going wrong, working out always made it better.
Yeah, you would come home frustrated from work, and I could tell that made you feel better.
It did.
But also, I would hate the days when I knew we were going to have tacos for dinner and you wanted to work out first. That was torture, y'all.
That was my priority, and I was never a morning person, you know that.
Yeah, so she would get home from work, not really at a specific time because she works hard, so... Sometimes she would leave at 5, sometimes she would leave at 6, 6:30, and then she'd come home and work out, and then she'd make me wait for dinner. I was really hungry. So then I came up with this snack that I like, that was like cherry tomatoes cut in half, and I would put salt on them. And I always loved that snack. Or I would put slices of cheese on Ritz crackers and put it in the microwave. That's what I lived by.
But you would also go out with me in the workout room and work out with me.
Or sometimes I would play pool, because we had a pool table. Yeah. So what was the hardest part of raising me?
I think, oh my gosh.
Me. Just me.
It definitely was not keeping you motivated. Okay, that was not. I think the hardest part was you were just so hard-headed.
Yeah.
You just knew it all. You wanted to do it your way. Mm-hmm. And of course, you don't know everything. You didn't know everything.
No.
You thought you did.
Right.
So I think that was
still
the
don't know it.
hardest
We
thing.
never know everything.
And you would get so mad. You had a temper.
Yeah.
And so I think I would get to you because I would start laughing, and then you would laugh.
Right.
I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about, you little shit. And you would laugh, and then we would laugh, but you would still get mad and walk away.
Right. I'm still mad, but that shit was funny.
So yeah, I think that was the hardest thing.
Still determined AF too.
And you were always very open with your life, like you are now on social media. It's funny because I would say, you don't tell people everything.
Yeah. Don't tell her all that. Don't tell her all your business.
You said it's ammunition, and here you are now.
I know, on a podcast. Telling everybody all my business.
So that has to be the hardest thing, no doubt.
All right, so we're going to close this out with one question. What are you the most proud of in your life?
What am I most proud of in my life? Gosh. I have to say it's my 4 daughters. Because they're all very...
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Determined,
I was going to edit it if you didn't.
Headstrong, hardworking.
Yeah.
They're good moms. They try their best to be best wives. Sometimes too good for their own good. But yeah, they're all, they make me so proud. When I hear other parents saying, oh no, my daughter's living with me, this and that, and they can't get it together, and da-da-da, I mean, I'm proud. My daughters all left my home, at a pretty young age because... they knew that in my house you respect my rules under my roof.
Yeah.
So that made you guys get out there and
hustle
and get your own place.
Get to work
and live how you want to live.
Get grown up.
Yep. So yeah, that definitely has to be.
We knew we just weren't gonna sit there and like leech off of you.
No.
No.
You guys, we helped you get a car, your first car, and then you guys gonna have to work, pay for your phone. I don't know if we paid your car insurance at first. I think we did for we said we would help you for the first year.
You gave me a set time frame, and then I had to, it was something like that. Yeah. But then I remember my insurance with State Farm was like so low. This is not a State Farm commercial.
Our name, under John's name, so it was kind of...
And it wasn't like I was like... I don't remember any of us being in like a bunch of accidents or...
No.
Yeah.
No.
So our insurance was always pretty decent.
Yeah, and I didn't have you guys just... riding around all night long,
right?
Or you wouldn't have a car.
Yeah.
I'll have to say that my 4 daughters are definitely my pride and joy.
Yeah. I think that's a good answer. Yeah. All right, so we are going to wrap this up, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mama, for doing this and being so honest.
Oh, my pleasure.
And I love you.
I love you too,
and baby. Your grandbabies are going to get to listen to this forever.
Oh, I know, when I'm gone.
Yes.
6 feet under.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys. Until next episode.
Bye, y'all.